Hey everyone, this is the Geeky Panda here, right guys, another one of my Panda vlogs. This time I'm going to be talking to you guys about my time as a QA tester in the gaming industry. Now, as far as that goes, I've been a QA tester back, wow, way back in the day here, and it's been like almost a decade now back then when I was really doing it. I tested a variety of games, I made some good friends, and I experienced some pretty interesting shenanigans. There are actually 3 different ways to be hired as a QA tester. First off is by the developers or publishers themselves. Usually they will have their own dedicated QA team, and if it's a multiplayer game, we'll actually have other members and the developers or the publishers to check it out, because again, more people playing it, more people can report on bugs that they have never encountered before, which in turn will hopefully be fixed by the time of launch or post-launch. Another way to get in is via a third-party contractor group, which I was a part of. The group, we just went game after game after game. We, played it, and then we just try to break it and submit our reports like any other QA testing group. Third option is individual public signups. Nowadays, we got developers and publishers having like something like a dedicated, like a influencer program. If you get in, they do have an NDA. They could be like, hey, we need you to test this out and report stuff. Sometimes publishers and developers will say, hey, here's a beta if you pre-order this. And it's not really a beta, but I'll get more into that. But there is ways to sign up for it publicly. So first thing to note as a QA tester is NDA, or non-disclosure agreement. Basically, it states that, hey, we want you to have full confidentiality when playing our products here. You can't talk about it, you can't tell your friends, you can't record anything, take pictures, anything, whatever. The reason being is that they don't want the public to find out about certain things, and nowadays, demos and betas might end up doing more harm to the product than good, because usually they're not really ready to showcase it. Right now, they're just trying to make sure it's a stable build, make sure that any major bugs have been squashed out, and adding in more content. Will it make the program unstable, which in turn have more bugs, or will it actually be okay? Any information about it has to stay within your group and the developers and the publishers. Now, do note, if you break the NDA, it's actually very, very serious. First off, you could lose your job. Basic, easy way to put it. You could actually lose your job if you break the NDA. Another thing that will happen is you'll be blacklisted from participating in more QA testing and have the game access build revoked for you. And there are definitely ways that they can do that. NDAs are taken extremely seriously. Even today, I cannot say certain games that I may or may not have worked on. We got people out there like content creators, gaming press, same thing. Sometimes they get shown stuff behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and they can't really say what they saw. We work closely with the game developers and the publishers, and we build relationships to them. They really don't, you have to keep tight-lipped. Even if it's with your friends, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's just with my friends, nothing will happen. Well, what happens is, that friend tells his friend, that friend tells that friend, and now, before you know it, that information and word of mouth spreads all over the internet, and the publisher and the developers is like, okay, who the hell leaked this? And then you're looking at yourself like, oops. You don't want to be that guy. Leaks are taken extremely seriously, and don't try to be smart, because 9 times out of 10, we're gonna find you. Like, there has been, during our, the group that I was in, we were checking out, we were playing it, and then we were talking about some guy that was leaked some footage on YouTube. He was trying to be smart and blotted out his gamer tag and all that dandy stuff. Sometimes in some builds you have your name and then some code that's in one corner, which they realize it can be easily edited out, and then they decide to do like the pop-ins or pop in different areas. This guy tried to be smart, but what the developers and publishers did is actually look at the other things going on in the server, including, because this was a multiplayer game, who died, and they were comparing that, and they actually found the guy who was leaking it, and they took down his videos, they revoked his access, everything. It was taken extremely seriously. There even been said that on the Xbox 360, the dashboard, they had like a thing going on there that no one really noticed. Yeah, there are ways to track down. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people, they had it to themselves, especially content creators. They'd be like, oh, I got into this beta, I got into this alpha. It says I can't stream it or I can't talk about it, but you know what? I'm going to stream it and make videos so I can get like a boost. It's not worth it, honestly, because even ourselves, like one time we were just we were with a developer one time talking to him, and during this closed alpha, we were camping out on Twitch. Literally, we were helping him out, camping out on Twitch. And if anyone started to stream the said game in question, the alpha, we notified him and he notified the Twitch folks, and it got taken down immediately. Like, it was really interesting, like, again, we build these relationships, these awesome friendships with not only QA testers, but developers and publishers. It can be a really awesome and great experience, but at the end of the day, you have a job to do, and you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Panda, your job must be fun, it must be awesome, you're playing these games. Yeah, I'm playing these games, but I got a job to hunt down bugs and glitches. Now, usually sometimes we'd have play sessions where we'll play the game normally, play the game as intended. Other times we will do some stupid shit to try to see how the build would react to it. Sometimes it crashes, sometimes it does something really weird and funky. We have to write that down, record it, take pictures of it to have show examples, to be like, hey, this is what happened when I did this, this, and this, and this. One of the also other reasons why that betas and alphas go public is because, again, the same scenario. If you have a multiplayer game, it could bring a really good PR move and just get people hyped. And you got tons of other people playing it, means that they could find some of those bugs that a smaller group. Now, do note, most of the time, these alphas and these betas, they're based on old builds. That's, it's nothing. When people are like, oh man, this must be the current build, like, no, it's not. They're sometimes based on old builds, or not sometimes, most of the time, based on old builds. But sometimes people find stuff that they didn't even found. They're like, oh, wait a minute, let's see if we can do this in the newer one. If you had like a beta that comes out, like play the beta a month before the actual game, like no, the game was already gone gold. That is just an old build that they're just handing out, like, hey, it's really interesting that, playing an alpha or the beta is used more as a marketing tool than anything else. Again, being in a third-party group, I was able to play from home. And it was really nice and comfortable, but again, I usually had like a notebook or something to write down my notes at every bug or glitch or something weird that I found, and then I would have to type up a report, I would have to take pictures, or I would take video, or I would bring some of the people in with me and be like, okay, this, just to show them, like, okay, this is how this happened, and we just set it off, and the devs and the publishers take care of it. You're there to test the game. You're there to find bugs and report it. Playing it is just a bonus. People have to realize that, and you have to be serious about these NDAs, because every time they do like a alpha or a beta, I always check the NDA. Can I make content out of it as a content creator? And sometimes they're like, yeah, go for it. Other times, like, nope, it doesn't even exist. Like, it's like, this build, this game, this is nothing. It's like, it is not out. It is not real, good sir. I had some really fun times, and there were some really hilarious, awesome moments. And sometimes it's weird too, because when you play the alpha, you're like, okay, this is the alpha, and then sometimes the beta might be worse than an alpha. It can happen. I've seen it happen more than once, where it's like, I was like talking to like, guys, isn't it? I realized that people think that's like the alpha was more stable, and everyone's like, yeah, this is kind of weird. But again, it can be interesting, and it can be extremely repetitive. But you're doing something great, you're doing something awesome. You're there to help contribute to the game's success, and we're just passionate gamers. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure this game, when it releases, is one of is a stable game for everyone to enjoy, or post-release, make sure that this game gets fixed, like gets the proper love and care. That's why when they do like those the community test servers or something like that, or the player test servers, those can help out a lot post-content. We tell you that much. But other than that, that's about it for today. I'm not with the third-party contractor group anymore. That was a while ago. I usually will sign up for stuff here and there, but other than that, I still do what I can to help out. Just being myself, being a content creator. And again, I just want to make sure some of these games, be the best that they can be. And that's it for my video there, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in, checking it out. Hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you can help support me via Patreon, and I'm also partnered with the Ashike.moy for all of your anime and otaku fandom needs. This is Geek Panda here. I'm out. Stay geeky, my friends.